You talked last week about just kind of maybe dedicating an effort to the run game, not to worry so much about explosive plays, but just consistency. I think you averaged almost 5.5 or 4.5 yards a carry. I think the longest run from a running back last weekend was 10 yards. But in general, did you feel like you were kind of just getting the run game moving forward the way that you wanted it to?
Right. Yeah, no, I think we did. And I really think we, after the Eastern Illinois game, recommitted ourselves in practice too. It just didn't show up because of the way the game played out against Ohio State. And so I think it was a few weeks in the making, and just our progress that we've had. And the guys got a chance to, show what they've improved in the run game and got a chance to get Stevie the ball and the other running backs and let them make some plays running downhill. That's kind of where it started for us this last week. Doesn't necessarily always have to be that way, but certainly it was nice for us to hit some plays downhill and chunk yardage there. And then as the game went on, it went outside, inside, kind of back and forth. So I was really proud of the way the guys just, worried more about ourselves and continued to plug away, trusting the process of practice and our system and just, taking care of business. I was really pleased.
When you have so many shifting pieces, both at quarterback and along the offensive line, how does that change how you evaluate the consistency that the offensive line brings in both the run and pass game? And how do you kind of look at that going forward now?
Yeah, I was really happy with how the guys responded. Obviously, you lose a guy like Coy Cronk in the first quarter, and I've not been through that with our guys, and not sure how we respond. And the guys the next guy stepped up. Devondre Love did a really nice job stepping in, and Caleb, we moved Caleb around, and I was just really pleased. I didn't feel like as big of a factor as we know Coy is to our offense. I didn't feel like our guys got paranoid or got overly concerned where it affected how we went about our business. And it was nice to see Matt Bedford get in there as the game went on too, and really do a nice job in his first plays as a college football player. So he's a super talented player. It's going to have a great career here as well. But the guys are just continuing to improve themselves, and whoever gets the opportunity to step in, has done a nice job. So I was happy with that.
Coach, did you pretty much know all week that Peyton was going to play last Saturday, and did you tailor what sort of passes you wanted to throw more around that?
Yeah, I mean, in my gut, that's probably what I was thinking. Is it would be that it's day to day with him and Mike as far as what Mike's condition is and situation. But yeah, certainly that there's things that each of them bring to the table. And different things that I'll put on their plates because of their past experiences. And I've seen enough of what they've done now and how, it plays out to where, we certainly had a plan that fit Peyton really well. But, the plan might not have been that much different, maybe here and there a little bit with Mike. So then all of a sudden, you have the situation with Coy and all of that too. So I thought we did a great job of staying ahead of the chains and putting ourselves in those third and mediums and third and shorts. And, I think that was the story of the game from our end. Other than the 2 turnovers and the 1 sack, we had no drops, no penalties. And so we were able to methodically move the ball down the field and be in control. Work the clock. I think that's the most time of possession or close to it that we've had in the 4 weeks, and keeping our defense, who I think continues to improve as well, off the field and fresh. I think it was a fast game, 9 drives, I think, not counting the victories and things like that. But, I thought we played a great team game. The turnovers are what we'd like to have back, especially on the first drive. Had some nice things going. Stevie hits one downhill for, a good chunk, good gain, and we had the turnover. But we'll continue to work on those things, and I thought Peyton played a nice game overall. 23 for 27, 85%. It's pretty good.
And just to follow up quickly on that, how much do you need to see from Michael early in the week in regards to when you're trying to game plan for Saturday as well, then, as to what might happen?
Yeah. I will continue. Like, there's concepts that we have run enough of that maybe we even haven't run much of in a game yet that fit Mike. and there's some that fit, for Peyton as well. So I think Mike's familiar and the rest of the offense is familiar with all of those things, and we'll have them ready to go. And again, it changes some, but overall, I don't feel like there's that much of a difference between Peyton and Mike. And the main thing is just we don't want to jeopardize Mike's health. We don't want to have him set back. And I know he's making a lot of progress and over the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So, we're happy with where he's at and looking forward to hopefully seeing him more and more, in the practices.
With that said, how difficult is it for you to put the game plan in going forward this week, not knowing exactly who the quarterback's going to be? And then you add the Coy Cronk issue to that on top of that. That's got to make it difficult to establish what that game plan is.
Yeah, there are challenges, but, I've been doing it long enough to where no one's going to feel sorry for you. Michigan State's not going to feel sorry for us when we step on the field Saturday, and we're not either. We're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We're going to embrace the challenge. You coach and you preach to the players response to adversity, and you got to do the same thing. If you're not living what you preach, then really it doesn't have any meaning what you ask of the guys. And so we come to work as a staff and excited about the new challenges, the new week. We're excited about the progress we feel we made last week, and we know that our guys are coming to practice every day with great motivation. If you just watched them play at practice, if you could see them practice last week, just the way they respond, the way they bounce back, it motivates me, and I know it motivates our staff to put the best game plan we can together to put our guys in a position to go be successful.
David Ellis, how has he managed to carve out a role in the offense, and how do you see that role continuing to evolve?
Yeah, I think, slowly, surely, you can see what he's capable of doing. And he's becoming more confident, I think, as much as anything, and then slowly becoming more consistent in just understanding the offense. There's just so many subtle things that we ask of our guys, whether it's alignments and just the routes and the details that are involved with those routes. He's becoming more confident, and we're definitely becoming more comfortable each and every week with him being on the field, in multiple ways, not just on offense, but in special teams as well. So he's gonna be a factor, I think, more and more as the season continues on.
Kalen, can you talk a little bit about Michigan State's defense and what they bring to the table that's different than Ohio State? Obviously, Ohio State's phenomenal, at least they have been up to this point. But is Michigan State that much different than Ohio State?
Well, their structure of how they present themselves is, but the physicality they bring, and then I think that's where it starts up front, is just how physical they are, and they'll find ways to get their extra hats in the box too, to make sure, number one, that they stop the run. That's statistically obviously a crazy number that they have right now, but there's different styles to how they do it. But in the end, I think the philosophy is the same. Stop the run, make teams one-dimensional, put them in third and longs, and then tee off. And so we got to continue to do more of what we did this last week, to where we're not in. I think we were in 10 or 9 third and 10 pluses against Ohio State. And so and it just comes down to executing your job. And it comes down to just understanding that if we get in those situations, this last week we were 8 for 8 when we were 3rd and 6 or less. I think 5 for 5 when we were 3rd and 4 to 6. And so we feel good about understanding what we can do and how successful we can be when we get in those favorable down a distance and we're not behind the chains.
Talking about those downs and distances, you guys ran it early and often. I think you kind of committed to the run a little more. I mean, is that something that you saw the payoff just by going for those 2, 3, 4 yard gains early on? Right.
Yeah, the 2 yard gains, the 1 yard gains early, you could see as the game went on, became 3 yard gains and 4 yard gains, and then there were some big seams too that we hit early as well. But the ones that were kind of muddy runs where it wasn't perfectly clean, we started falling ahead for more yards, which now you're in 2nd and 6. And you still have pretty much all your playbook available to you, all your base calls. And so, we did commit to it, but the way the game flowed, it made it easy to commit to it as well. And so I was just really pleased with the guys on how they stayed with it. And I think, we had a more physical mindset at the end of the game than we did probably as an offense at the beginning of the game, and a lot of that's just because of the confidence and I feel that we'll bring that and build on that this week in practice. And so I'm excited to get back to work.